6 trucks. That's how many 2027 pickups have leaked hard enough in the last few months that I can tell you exactly what's coming, and at least 3 of them are going to make the trucks sitting on dealer lots right now look like relics. I've spent the better part of a year chasing spy photos, factory production filings, and the stuff executives let slip at investor meetings when they think nobody's writing it down. What's coming for 2027 doesn't just refresh the pickup market, it flips it. A $27,000 electric truck, a revived American legend backed by Volkswagen money, a gas-electric monster that tows 14,000 pounds and never makes you sweat a charging station. Number 1 on this list is the one that has every legacy automaker genuinely nervous. Let's count it down. Number 6, Toyota Tundra TRD Hammer. Let's start with the one nobody saw coming, because for 20 years Toyota refused to play this game. Ford has the Raptor. Ram brought back the TRX in spirit with the RHO. And Toyota just sat there, letting everyone assume the Tundra was too sensible to throw punches. Then the spy shots showed up, and the camouflaged prototype rolling around Toyota's test routes was wearing fenders the size of trash can lids, steel bumpers you could winch a house with, ground clearance for days, and tires that belong on a trophy truck. The name circulating is the TRD Hammer, and it's Toyota finally answering the desert running crowd. Here's what the leaks point to under the hood. Car and Driver reports a twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 doing the heavy lifting, the same family of engine that already lives in the Tundra and the Lexus LX. The big open question is whether Toyota bolts the iForce Max hybrid system to it, the setup that already pushes the regular Tundra to 437 horsepower. If they do, you're looking at a high-output, electrified long-travel performance truck wearing the most reliable badge in the business. That's the part that matters. Ford and Ram have owned this segment, but neither one carries Toyota's reputation for going 300,000 miles without drama. A Raptor competitor that you can actually trust to start every morning in year 10? That's a different animal. This one's a halo truck, sure. It's not going to outsell a base work truck, but it announces something bigger. Toyota is done being the quiet one, and when Toyota decides to compete in a category, they tend to stick around and eventually win it. Watch this one closely through 2026, because the closer we get, the more the gloves come off. Number 5, the Ram midsize truck. The Dakota is back. For years, Ram watched the Toyota Tacoma move roughly 275,000 units a year and did absolutely nothing about it. No midsize entry, no Ranger fighter. They just ceded the entire segment. That's officially over. Here is how I know it is real and not another rumor. Stellantis Chief Executive Officer Antonio Filosa said it out loud at an investor conference in Paris. He did not tease a sketch. He said he had personally stood in the Detroit Design Center and seen the finished clay model with his own eyes, and his exact framing was that it is beautiful and the specs line up very favorably against everything else in the class. The official reveal is locked for 2027. He even told the room that if they came to Detroit and left their phones at the door, they would be astonished by what is coming. The details that have surfaced: it's a body-on-frame truck, which is exactly what it needs to be to fight the Tacoma, the Ford Ranger, the Chevy Colorado, and the Nissan Frontier on their own turf. Reporting points to it being built at Stellantis's Belvidere, Illinois plant, the same factory receiving a $1.5 billion investment to handle the next wave of midsize trucks. There's a strong chance it wears the Dakota name. a nameplate that has been dead since 2011 and still has real equity with buyers who remember it. Now, the honest caveat. A 2027 reveal likely means a 2028 or 2029 showroom date, so this is not one you're driving next spring. But it matters enormously because the mid-size segment is where the volume and the margins live, and Ram has been bleeding customers to Toyota in that space for over a decade. If the truck is half as good as Filosa is hinting, Ram suddenly has a weapon in the one fight they have been losing the longest. That's why it cracks this list. Number 4. The next generation GMC, Sierra and Chevy Silverado. This one is a genuine ground-up redesign, not a facelift, and the spy photographers have been all over it. Chevy sold more than 540,000 Silverados in the U.S. last year alone. When a truck moves that kind of volume, even small changes ripple across the whole market. A full redesign is an earthquake. The interior shots tell the story. The camouflaged prototypes show a dramatically reworked dashboard with a massive central screen, and GM has confirmed it is adding a standalone passenger display, the same trick Ram pioneered on the 1500. That's the visible stuff. The mechanical news is bigger. Both the 2027 Sierra and Silverado are expected to launch GM's new Gen 6 small block V8, an all-new gasoline engine alongside a brand-new hybrid powertrain. That last part is the headline. For the first time, GM's full-size trucks get a real electrified option that is not a battery-only EV, which means buyers who want better fuel economy without range anxiety finally have a mainstream choice from America's best-selling truck brand. Think about what that does to the segment. Ford has the Power Boost hybrid F-150. Toyota has the hybrid Tundra. Ram is going the range extender route. GM was the one holdout with no hybrid full-size answer, and that gap is about to close with their highest volume product. Spy timing points to this arriving late in 2026 as a 2027 model. If you are shopping full-size and you can wait, this is the one to watch, because a redesigned Silverado and Sierra with a fresh V8, a new hybrid, and a tech-loaded cabin does not just compete. It resets the baseline that every other full-size truck gets measured against. When the volume king changes the rules, everybody else has to follow. Number 3, the Ram 1500 REV. Pay attention to the name because Ram made it confusing on purpose. The all-electric Ram 1500 REV is dead, canceled. Ram looked at slowing demand for big, battery-electric trucks and pulled the plug. But the name did not die. They handed it to what used to be called the Ram Charger, and that truck, the range-extended one, is the one that is actually going to matter. Here is why this powertrain is so clever. It is not a plug-in hybrid in the traditional sense, and it is not a pure electric vehicle. It is a series hybrid. The wheels are always driven by electric motors. A 3.6-liter Pentastar 5.6 sits up front, doing nothing but spinning a generator to feed the battery when you run low. So you get the smooth, instant torque driving experience of an electric truck, but the second you are worried about range, the gas engine quietly tops you off and you keep moving. No hunting for a charger in the middle of nowhere. No towing math that ends with you stranded. The numbers are absurd in the best way. The dual motor setup makes 647 horsepower and 610 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 4.5 seconds in a full-size pickup. roughly 145 miles of pure electric range for your daily driving, and a combined range targeted around 690 miles when you factor in the gas generator. Towing is rated at 14,000 pounds, which is best in class territory, and payload is around 2,625 pounds. It even does bidirectional charging, so it can power your house or jumpstart another vehicle. After years of delays, production is now set for the second half of 2026 at Stellantis's Sterling Heights plant in Michigan, arriving as a 2027 model in a four-door crew cab with a 5-foot 7-inch bed. The genius here is that Ram solved the single biggest complaint about electric trucks, which is range anxiety while towing, without forcing buyers to give up the electric driving experience. For a lot of truck owners who have been electric vehicle curious but burned by charging headaches, this is the bridge, and right now almost nobody else is offering it. If you have made it this far, hit subscribe, because I am tracking every one of these as more leaks drop, and the top 2 are the ones that genuinely change the game. Speaking of which, number 2, the Scout Terra. This is the one that makes the established players the most uncomfortable because it is a brand new American truck brand with serious money behind it. Here is the backstory most people do not know. Scout was an iconic name from International Harvester back in the 60s and 70s, the kind of rugged off-roader that built a cult following before the company stopped making passenger vehicles in 1980. When Volkswagen Group bought Navistar in 2021, they inherited the rights to the Scout name. Now they have resurrected it as a standalone brand, and the Terra is its pickup. The specs read like a wish list. It's built on a proper body-on-frame chassis with a solid rear axle, front and rear mechanical lockers, and a front sway bar disconnect, meaning this thing is engineered to actually go off-road, not just look the part. It comes 2 ways. There is a full battery electric version targeting around 350 miles of range, and there is the Harvester version, which uses a gas range extender just like that Ram to push total range past 500 miles. It runs an 800-volt architecture with charging up to 350 kilowatts, uses the Tesla-style NACS plug, and offers vehicle-to-home power. Towing is targeted north of 10,000 pounds with around 2,000 pounds of payload. Then there is the price and the way you buy it. Retail starts under $60,000, and with available incentives, Scout has floated entry pricing closer to $51,500. And you do not haggle with a dealer because there are no dealers. Scout sells direct to you with fixed, transparent pricing and dedicated service spaces. The factory is going up in Blythewood, South Carolina, with production targeted for 2027. I will give you the honest asterisk because I always do. The timeline has slipped before. Production was originally floated for 2026, then 2027, and some reports suggest it could drift later as the factory finishes and engineering gets sorted. So temper your expectations on exactly when you can buy one. But make no mistake about what this represents. This is Volkswagen, one of the largest automakers on Earth, launching a purpose-built, off-road capable, range-flexible American truck brand from scratch, with no legacy baggage and direct-to-consumer pricing. That is not a side project. That is a loaded gun pointed straight at Ford, Ram, and Chevy. And it is coming. Number 1, the Slate truck. This is the one. This is the truck that, if it lands the way it's designed to, does not just compete in the market. It detonates the entire pricing structure that every other automaker has been hiding behind. While everyone else races to build $100,000 electric land yachts, Slate is doing the exact opposite, and almost nobody is ready for it. Here's the pitch. A brand new American-built electric pickup with a starting price around $27,500 before any incentives. Let that sink in. The average new vehicle in this country now costs close to $50,000. Slate is launching a truck for roughly half that. They hit that number by stripping out everything you have been trained to think you need. The base truck has no paint, the body panels are molded in color, and you wrap them yourself if you want a different look. No infotainment screen, no power windows, no speakers from the factory. It is a two-seat, two-door pickup with a 5-foot bed, and the whole philosophy is that you add only what you actually want. The engineering is genuinely smart. It is a single rear motor, rear-wheel drive setup. The standard battery is 52.7 kilowatt hours for about 150 miles of range, with an optional 84.3 kilowatt hours pack that pushes it to around 240 miles. It uses the NACS connector, so it charges on the Tesla supercharger network roughly 20 to 80% in half an hour. Payload is rated up to a genuinely impressive 1,433 pounds, though towing is modest at around 1,000 pounds. And here's the kicker that I love. The same platform reconfigures into an SUV with a bolt-on kit. You buy a truck, and a few years later, when the kids come along, you turn it into a 5-seater. That's a vehicle designed to grow with your life instead of being traded in. The team behind it is not a fly-by-night operation either. It is backed by over $1 billion in funding and led by former Amazon executives who understand scale and logistics better than almost anyone. The factory is in Warsaw, Indiana. Production is targeted for late 2026, with official pricing locked in around June of 2026 and first deliveries following. They have reportedly racked up well over 100,000 reservations already. Now, the honest part, because affordability stories always have fine print. That under $20,000 figure you might have seen early on assumed the federal electric vehicle tax credit, and that credit was eliminated in late 2025. So the real no incentive price sits in the high 20s. It is bare bones by design, so if you need all-wheel drive or serious towing, this is not your truck. But that is exactly the point. For a tradesperson, a city dweller, a first-time buyer, or anyone who just needs an honest, repairable, affordable way to haul stuff, nothing else on the market comes close to this number. And if Slate actually delivers at volume, every automaker selling you a $40,000 entry-level truck suddenly has a very awkward question to answer. That's why it's number one. Not because it's the fastest or the most capable, but because it attacks the one thing the entire industry has quietly agreed to keep expensive, the price of getting into a brand new truck at all. So there it is, 6 pickups landing for 2027, and not one of them plays by the old rules. The Toyota Tundra TRD Hammer is finally bringing a reliable answer to the Raptor. The reborn Ram Dakota is coming for the Tacoma's crown. The redesigned Silverado and Sierra are resetting the full-size standard with a new V8 and a real hybrid. The Ram 1500 Ray-V is killing range anxiety for good. The Volkswagen-backed Scout Terra is building an American truck brand from the ground up. And the Slate truck, the $27,000 wildcard that could rewrite the whole pricing game. A year from now, the truck dealers who are pushing hard today are going to feel a generation behind. If you are even thinking about a new pickup, Do not sign anything until you have seen what is actually coming. I am tracking every leak, every spec, and every delay on all 6 of these, so subscribe and stick around, because 2027 is shaping up to be the most disruptive year the truck market has seen in decades. I will see you in the next one.